juicy. Good times. On Twitter, it's at Jay Cameron Show. Do not forget that if you are watching on Warchant TV, I would note that you are to like and subscribe if you feel compelled. If you feel compelled to do so, appreciate that. Also, I would suggest, I don't know if Director Matthew's ready for this. I don't know if Tom's ready for this. It's a buck. There it is. How about that? Well done. It's a buck. If you're watching on Warchant TV, you see it. Warchant.com. On three, $1 for 1 year. Now, the thing about that, and I mean this sincerely, it's $1. You can get me on most promotional items for $1. Like if I see a hat manufacturer that I've never heard of before, they're like, hey, join our club. You get one hat free with every two you purchase. And if you're part of the club for $1, you get a free hat every month. I'm like, oh, okay, it's a buck. I got it. I'm doing it. It's a buck. Why wouldn't you? It's $1. You got that between the cushions of the couch at the house. Do it.
Well, yeah, and to the thousands of people listening right now on the stream player and driving around town, listening at their office, at their desk, you just go to warchant.com. There's a green box up top, and it says join for a year for $1. There you go.
Johnny Buckets, I'm going to say it again. It's a buck. There you go. Get you some of that. For a year. So Tom's right, but I would also say for all of you that you're not. I don't know how long that's going to last. I don't know if it's a promotion that survives, say, the month of September. I don't know that. Could be gone. Could be gone. It could be $10,000 after this month. You just don't know. But right now it's $1. So let's go ahead and get while the getting is good, as I like to say.
Get a few 100 members at that price point, and I'll announce my retirement.
At $10,000 a pop?
500 members? There you go.
Yeah. Well, I don't, I think the work we do is worth $10,000 a month. But I think if a subscriber were to weigh in, he would disagree.
What about her? She wouldn't disagree, that subscriber.
Well, that you also get the OnlyFans account with that $10,000.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's so you know.
It is Friday, isn't it?
Yeah, it is loosey goosey.
He set the tone.
There it is. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So doff the cap to you guys. Let's gather around. Tomorrow's the scrimmage. Tomorrow night, under the lights, the scrimmage happens. Now we don't know who all is available and who isn't. We didn't get that question out today, and I don't know that he would have answered it per se. But it's there. It's tomorrow night, and I'm really excited to hear the responses from the coaches and players. We are not allowed to watch tomorrow's scrimmage. Tom assures me today was a good day as they threw the ball around, played with a lot of energy, and they were tight and on point. That's good to hear. Good to hear. It was shorter practice today. We all figured it would be, right, with the scrimmage tomorrow. So I figured, there you go.
Yeah, Johnny Wilson had a good day. He was one of the first names I'd bring up. A couple of little things today that I just thought were good, little details. Marquiston Douglas.
Again, he's been good this camp.
Just brings a smile to your face. They had one particular play that would require him to block, and he did so. And look, that's not something you hold a parade over, but it would require extra effort and attention to detail to make this play. So you love to see that. And he also made a catch not too long after that and made a good play downfield. This is the fun part of practice, too, is you get to argue with other media members. Sometimes they blow plays dead
right,
because they don't want anybody going to the ground. And Marquiston was in a position where I think he might have still been running a little while after the play was blown dead.
That's a big man. Unless somebody was there to square him up, you're not getting him down.
Exactly right. And you're looking for signs of life from the tight end core. Marquiston is one of those guys where, well, maybe, just maybe.
Tom, I'm going to keep it loosey-goosey for a second and play off of the signs of life phrase that you just used. I think you'll get a kick out of this and understand the spirit with which it's being said. This morning, well, first of all, my youngest son had his school orientation this morning. I had to attend to that, take him to do that. So I was not at practice today, guys. Not going to pretend that I was, but Tom was there and Ira was there. Our crew was there. We're all good. But I also knew it'd be a technical sort of practice today and shortened. And so I was going to pick one. This is a good one. Get my son to orientation and all that, right?
How'd it go?
was great. Everything was great.
You were present for that process
I
as
was.
well?
Yeah. It was
Okay.
fantastic. Well, you go from class to class, you get your schedule and you find out where you're going to be and all that, because he's going to a different school this year. So we went all around. It was very exciting. But the point is, I got home right after it was over, and I turned on the tube while I was show prepping, and I put it on the ACC network. And I said, "Oh, it's time for some ACC network morning. Here's what this is. It's time."
Man, I don't like where this is going.
So they're previewing North Carolina. They're doing the travel.
Yeah, it must have been a fraud section.
They're doing the North Carolina thing. So I thought of you just now when you said proof of life. I'm telling you, I'm not sure we're going to have a certain coach much longer. You remember?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. No, you remember when you correctly noted that it was all over for Arnold Palmer?
Yeah, that was.
I mean, they were talking about him as if he was dead, even though he was very much alive and had just been interviewed.
Yeah, Jimmy Roberts did an interview with Arnold during his tournament. It was an NBC broadcast, and he sent it back to the booth in tears.
Yes.
That's not a good sign.
No, the darkness is creeping at that point. Jimmy sees him. He sees him behind the tree over in the corner. He knows it's over. So I saw that today. They're interviewing players and coaches. And when they got to the head man, I got to tell you, I went, oh, Tom Lang needs to see this. He's going to know. This is it.
Man, that's depressing.
Well,
something would have changed in 2 weeks because I was in Charlotte and he looked fine.
He doesn't look fine. He's got bright redness all over him. Skin disorder, you could argue. Okay, fine. But he sat down wearing shorts, and I thought, my God.
Could have been the Carolina Heat.
It was odd, but it's not going to end well. We'll see how their season goes. I know you're not celebrating his demise. I just want you to be aware that I think this is it.
Man, now you're not letting me celebrate the fact that they've been frauds under him. You undercut that ability.
You can still celebrate it, man. You're not rooting for his death. If he dies, he dies. He's old. Man. Whatever, man. It's not you.
What a strange place we're going today.
No, we're not. It's okay to have the conversation. I'm just telling you, man, things have taken a turn, a sharp right turn. He looks like death. I don't know what's going on. And he's eating himself into the grave. He's huge. Huge.
I didn't get either of these impressions.
Oh, he disguised it with a loose jacket. That's the only way. I'm telling you right now. Go watch it tonight. They'll replay it. When you see it, you're going to go, oh, my God.
Sir, that would require me to turn on ACC Network. Yeah, that's a bridge too far.
Mack is in trouble.
We're very good friends. But
Mack is in trouble.
You know not to ask me that question. Turn on ACC Network.
I'm just telling you. If you turn it on and you watch the North Carolina preview, you're going to go, holy moly, Jeff's right. Mack Brown will be dead in an hour. It's tough. Now, again, I'm not rooting for that just because I say that out loud. I'm not a monster. I'm just observing and reporting back what I saw today during the North Carolina preview. I was startled by the man's presence. I was sitting there with a cup of coffee. I went, Jesus, Mack, get it together. Hey, listen, I give a wide berth for these sorts of things. Guys go on benders, have issues, and they battle back. They get a hold of themselves. So I think to myself, I see a guy look like he's struggling a little bit. Tough month. Maybe he was on vacation. Whatever. He had a good time. He'll gather himself. He'll get it together. He got a little loose with it. But I saw Mack this morning. I'm like, it's the start of camp. How are you this out of control? What's going on, Mack?
He sees his football team. There's your answer. He's looking at his football team. He's like, oh, my God, we're worse than last year. I blew it. I had Sam Howell, who everybody talked about like he was the second coming.
He was Joe Montana.
And he's the third or fourth best quarterback in the league at best last year. But everybody talked about him as though he was going to be the one to guide Carolina into the top 15 or the top 10.
Yeah, they prattled on him, didn't they?
Right. And as the man asked Mack at the dais a couple weeks ago, he said, Coach, there were expectations you'd be here in Charlotte for the ACC championship last year. And you were in Charlotte, but for the Duke's Mayo Bowl. How do you avoid that again this year? That's what happened.
Did he admit to eating a lot of that Duke's Mayo? My God, Tom.
I navigated us out of it, and you're like, nope, we're staying here.
I'm telling you, it's something to behold. It's very disturbing. A carrot and a treadmill. Let's go, Mack. Good God. Did you watch the Raiders and the Jaguars last night? A little NFL football? Pads were popping?
Not a single play.
Oh, my. I watched almost all of it.
I had a baseball. What? Wait a minute.
I did. The Pirates played earlier in the day. They won. They swept the Brewers.
Yeah.
Swept that ass is what they did. And so
the Cardinals now are tied for first. Here we go again.
Yeah. So we swept the Brewers, and you don't want any part of this right now. I don't know. I mean, it's the wrong time to be playing the Buccos. Anyhow, that said, I had a free evening. I was good to go. Picked up Clark from football practice, came back to the house, was loosey-goosey hanging out, didn't have much I had to do, and I can't do much right now because if I was going to record a video or do anything, I can't talk hardly. I mean, I'm quite literally struggling with the voice. So I've got about 2 hours, 3 hours in me a day, and that's it. I'm trying to keep it together because when it goes, you don't know. It could be 2 or 3 days. So I've only had it happen once in 20-some-odd years of being a broadcaster where I got sent home because I couldn't talk. Like once or twice, maybe.
I think that's a great sign because it feels like 20-some-odd years since we've had a good offensive line. And maybe this is what needs to happen.
Maybe this is what has to happen.
You've got to pay the price.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. But so anyhow, my evening was free because the Pirates had already won. I saw you beat the Braves, right?
Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah, good game. There you go.
We paced it, and then they caught up, and it got a little dicey there, but a good baseball game.
Okay, so you guys won. Anyhow, the point would be
that's correct.
Yeah, so I saw all that, and then I was like, okay, time for Amir Abdullah. Here we go. Let's watch some football, baby. And then I was thinking, here comes some, and it was fun. It was more fun than I remember it being. The first quarter was especially good.
That's because of Tarico. Tarico's in now.
Amir Abdullah. Yeah, they and Jarrett Stidham had himself a good night. Good times. Jacksonville looked like butt. The butts looked like butt again. Pure butt.
This voice is awesome.
I'm hanging tough as best I can. I don't need more coffee, but I may have to in order to survive.
This takes me back to working in the industry, the restaurant industry at my country club with there was always at least 1 or 2 people that's on the payroll every year that, well, they're pretty attractive, you know? And when they come to work on a Saturday, there's evidence in their voice that they were out the night before.
They had a good time.
And they sound just like you do right now.
Well, I didn't do anything.
I know.
I was fine.
I had a rough night. You're like, man, wish I was a part of whatever proceedings
fun you had. Yeah.
Man.
No, I didn't have any sort of thing last night. No rough night at all. I was laid back watching some Hall of Fame game football,
right,
buddy.
Yeah.
Celebrating Tony Baselli's entrance into the Hall of Fame. I did watch most of it, though. I really did. I reveled in it. It was embarrassing. But even my wife, she goes, I'm going to bed. I don't need to watch. If you're going to be out here on the big screen watching this, then I'm just going to,
watching this.
Yeah, she was pissed. And she doesn't ever get pissed.
She would have stayed if you put on Mets Braves.
She would, yes. If I had put on baseball, she would have stayed because she loves baseball. And if I had put on anything that mattered, as opposed to the Hall of Fame game, she would have probably stayed. She wanted to hang out. I got the sense that I disappointed her. Not the first time, but I got the sense that I disappointed her when I insisted that the big screen be on the Hall of Fame game. I'm not even joking. It was sad. I can tell how desperate I am for football. I enjoyed the damn game. I didn't turn it off until early in the fourth quarter.
That's really alarming.
Nah.
And well, because we get our fill. We're one of the lucky media groups in the country to be able to get a football fill every day. We're not watching walkthroughs, kicked out of practice for an hour 45, and you come back for a press conference in which you say, what happened? And then the coach lies to you and you report on it.
Right. No, we don't have that.
We get hours of football every day. So you still want more. Interesting.
Yeah, because I can't watch us scrimmage, and I really want to watch us scrimmage. I've seen a lot of the daily practices. It's time to start seeing some scrimmages, some game-like situations. And so this was a game-like situation. You're watching actual opposing teams compete against one another. There are guys, by the way, and this is true in general of preseason. There are reasons to watch some of the preseason games. I mean, rookies that are fighting for spots, guys that were drafted late, 5th, 6th round that might earn a spot. There are guys too. You want to see how they're going to use certain guys that were drafted to certain teams. When you look at that personnel, you think, how are they going to use him? That's interesting. So Jacksonville, by the way, and I make fun of Jacksonville, rightfully so. The Butts are going to suck again.
And they didn't play anybody of their decent players.
No, the Butts are going to suck again. But they did one of the things that I wanted to see, some of those guys that were drafted later that are trying to make that defense, they did play some of those guys. So you can glean a little something from that early on. But yeah, man, I understand that it is just preseason and it is the Hall of Fame game. It's a game I make fun of all the time. But when I got home and the Pirates had already swept the Brewers, I was like, okay, from a sports standpoint, not a lot tonight. Saw my golf highlights, got caught up on my wagers, sat down. I'd already eaten. Hall of Fame game's on, Tom. Might as well put it on.
You missed a chance to see Mr. Oktoberfest hit another home run.
I did.
Vogelback, yeah.
He hit another one.
Another one.
Old Fatty hit a fastball out of the park now. I loved him when he was in Pittsburgh. It's our gift to you. Yesterday, though, the pitcher we got back for him,
Holderman,
he got the win.
Yeah, one of the hard parts about what's going on with our bullpen right now is we could use a lefty who gets outs. Well, or somebody who could get lefties out. Either way, if your splits work that way.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Vogelback, but it's close.
Oh, I don't know.
Holderman looks pretty good.
Holderman's really good.
That sinker's nasty.
He's got stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's got stuff. Guy last night was describing as one of the best sinkers in baseball.
Oh,
okay. Well, at least we got something back for him.
We got Babe Ruth.
You do.
If you plug him back in 1918, he would have hit 60 home runs.
Yeah. Do you ever see the John Goodman Babe Ruth movie?
10 minutes of it.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It is so bad. Two subjects that I think about a lot that have not been done properly in film. Okay. Babe Ruth's life was crazy, going all the way back to the orphanage. And if you really study his life and read anything about Babe Ruth, it's a great movie waiting to happen. If it's well acted, well written, well done. Of course, it wasn't. It's like they hastily put together this thing. Hey, we got a fat guy that's popular in the sitcoms. Can we get him to play the Babe? Yeah, stick him in. Do we have a script? No, don't worry about it. So that's how Ruth, or whatever that stupid John Goodman film was to me. That's how bad it was. It was just nonsense. But that's one. And then the Lewis and Clark. How do we not have a great movie about Lewis and Clark?
This one I should have guessed.
It pisses me off. I mean, think about how they've written 150 books. We have all their journals. The subject matter has been thoroughly vetted. You know everything that happened. There's really cool stuff, insane things that happen. How have they not done that? We've got 4-part miniseries on the dumbest things ever. Like, okay, let's have a 16-part miniseries on the Lusitania. Like, okay, I got it, man. I read this. It is interesting. 16 parts? Yeah. I don't know. Well, Lewis and Clark, what are we doing?
That is the war equivalent of the Captain having 8 episodes on ESPN. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
I mean, yeah.
The most boring man who is overrated, squarely overrated, especially as a shortstop. Dude wasn't a shortstop. He's a second baseman who played shortstop. Made a couple of really good plays in high-profile situations, but for the back half of his career, played next to the best shortstop of his generation.
Yeah, the better shortstop, yeah.
And was boring as a saltine cracker. And you're going to give him 8 episodes? More than the Bulls got? Get out of here.
Yeah, no, all of it. It's
Who would play Babe Ruth? Who would you tab? Because I feel like if you could have gotten to Daniel Day 20 years ago, he would have fattened himself up for the role.
Put on the stuff and done everything right. I don't know if he can swing a bat.
He's too late now. He's too old.
Yeah, I don't want him to do it anyhow.
Who right now in the world has the frame to be the Babe, the Bambino, and can act? I don't know that there's anybody out there right now.
Well, you could have to discover them. They do that all the time. I mean, it may not be an existing high-profile actor, but you would find somebody. That's why
you know who could have, other than
John Goodman probably could have.
Gandolfini.
Oh
Done.
Man,
done.
Yeah, that's a good one.
As the Babe,
could have been all right. Oh man,
you could see him in the P cap.
I miss Gandolfini. I really do. There are many guys that passed away like years ago, and then you're like, I miss that dude. I do. I miss Gandolfini.
Well, that's because you don't work on the set. Apparently, he was a raging jerk.
We had to get into that character
across different characters. He was,
but he's beloved by his fellow actors, so that's interesting.
Hated by the staff and the writers, and
but not hated by all the people he ever worked with in terms of acting.
Because he'd say, "You want to run again? You want to go again?" Yeah.
So he was really good.
Mm-hmm.
See, the artist there will be like, I understand it. You're trying to get it right.
But when he was the age of the Last Castle, that's your sweet spot right there in terms of his age to play the Bambino.
Back in the day, yeah. All right. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Hi, this is Justin Colvin, founder of the Medicare Help Desk. I routinely speak to seniors who are overwhelmed by the multitude of coverage options available to them. That's why I created the Medicare Help Desk radio show. Tune in every Sunday at 11:30 a.m. where I provide clear answers to all your questions about Medicare.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love. And you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
This is Andy Cohen. When I was a law enforcement officer, I devoted my life to a career of service and protection. Who's protecting you? Give me a call. 850-671-FARM. That's 671-FARM. Helping you is what we do best.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shannon Lord with Finn Chiropractic. We are primary care physicians, and you don't need a referral to come see us. Chiropractors not only help you get to the root cause of your problem, but it helps get rid of neck pain, back pain, and headaches. It makes your body whole and healthy on the inside. So if you or a loved one has neck pain, back pain, or headaches, make an appointment today to get to the root cause of your problem. Come see me, Dr. Shannon Lord, at finnchiro.com, FENNCHIRO.com, because your chiropractor loves you and there's nothing you can do about it.
Let's be honest, we all have way too much stuff. Maybe your storage closet is full, your garage is full, or the guest bedroom is a mess. Call Southeast Portable Buildings, 580-6400, or visit them online at southeastportablebuildings.com.
When I get home from work, I'm ready to relax. So I call Swain Pools and Spas to put my pool in the back. I call Swain Pools and Spas. Now I'm soaking up the fun when I want to.
Truckloads of new and used Caldera and Hot Spring Spas are available now at Swain Pools and Spas. Don't wait. Get to Swain Pools and browse the best inventory to find the spa of your dreams. These won't last long, so come see us today. Just look for the huge sign on Tharp Street or call 386-7113 for Swain Pools and Spas.
I know what you're thinking right now. Where can I find a place to get my car fixed and also check out some awesome new hot tubs and spas while I wait? Well, you're in luck. Because when you bring your car or truck in to get serviced at Tallahassee Car Care, it's under the same roof as Swain Pools and Spas for tires, brakes, bodies, tune-ups, oil changes, and all the service you need to get back on the road. Choose the certified technicians at Tallahassee Car Care. Drop by our shop on Tharp Street or visit online at TallahasseeCarCare.com.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at Orange Theory Fitness.
Yeah, you're seeing it. These are problematic times for old Mack Brown. Goodness gracious. Also, I would note, did you see this? Greg McElroy, who will be calling our game. Is that the LSU game he's calling?
That's correct. With Tess.
I like Joe Tess for big games. Those sorry games, I don't need Joe Test because he'll make it sound like it's the first quarter of the Super Bowl. But yeah, I get that. He broke down. He was talking about the ACC being the conference that has the best quarterback play. That was true last year too. And then he noted Virginia's Brennan Armstrong, Miami's Tyler Van Dyke, NC State's Devin Leary, Wake Forest Sam Hartman, Clemson's DJ Uga, and Louisville's Malik Cunningham.
That's how he plays.
Yeah, but that is it. There it is. They did not. There no Jordan Travis preview in there. I was like, damn it, man.
It's all right. In retrospect, they'll say, why didn't we rate this guy as a top 5 quarterback in the ACC?
You don't really believe that. I don't think.
I think that whether or not he's a top 5 talented quarterback in the ACC, you can probably still produce enough high-profile plays that he's in a conversation as a playmaker in the conference, like a legit dangerous playmaker.
I think the goal for him to be, you have to account for all of his skills. So my thought would be if he can be top 6, top 7,
right,
that should suffice. Because I don't think he's better than Malik Cunningham. I don't think he's better than Devin Leary. I don't think he's better than Tyler Van Dyke. I don't think he's better than Sam Hartman. He's a better college football player than your boy at BC, who's a better pro prospect.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, what if the record is better than Wake Forest's record? And what if Florida State's record is better than Louisville's record? Then it's immaterial about what you would think about the quarterback in a vacuum. It's about the hype that surrounds the program and the coverage that the player gets. So Jordan would get more coverage at that point.
If Florida State, but I am actually talking about play. Because to me, if Florida State has a better record than Wake Forest, it's because Wake Forest defense is going to be ranked in the 90s. Not because of Sam Hartman. It won't be that Jordan's better than Sam Hartman. It's that Wake Forest can't get stops.
Yeah. But if our record is where it needs to be, Jordan's making plays.
I agree. I agree with that. I think that, that's why I say top 6, top 7. You don't have to be better than a lot of those guys. I don't need
arguably top 5 at that point. Hey, if you're 6 or 7, you can make an argument.
Well, maybe. It's a deep league at quarterback. There's no shame with being middle of the pack in this league at quarterback.
That is true because they're all old. All of them.
Yeah, it's annoying how many of them came back. And it's a little frustrating, in fact, because it seems like we play all the ones that are good that came back.
Imagine if just half of those quarterbacks left. What you'd be thinking about what's possible for this season. Because I'd argue that if you had this group right now, and it's August the 5th before last year's schedule, you'd be giddy. You'd say 8 or 9. 8 or 9 wins is possible.
If we had this group
with last year's schedule. Absolutely.
Maybe. Yeah, probably. There's a couple of games that, when you do the hindsight thing and you go back, you say, well, if we did this, if we knew what we knew then, or what we know now then we wouldn't have played the Jacksonville State game the way that we did. Really.
Right. And think about how many came down to the wire. Of course, you win the Syracuse game, and that's kind of lucky because you get away with a hold. But for the Syracuse game, there's Notre Dame that goes the other way.
Do you think the Syracuse game? Yeah, but we trailed by a lot in that game for much of it. So it's like
they didn't take their foot off the gas. I don't think.
I'm not arguing that. My point is we didn't control the action. Listen, we had our fair share of close wins too. The Miami game, come on. There's a lot of stuff there. This is a season that will be similar to last, hopefully not in record, because I think stylistically, the way we have to play and what we want to do offensively, coupled with the fact that the defense will hit the ground running better this year, obviously, than last. I think the scores in our games are going to be relatively lower than that of the rest of the ACC or other big-time games. I think our games are going to be lower scoring because I think the clock's going to be moving quite a bit. I think our strength, if you're just asking me what I think our strength is, I think it's running the football. I think most people would agree with that at this point because Jordan's legs are valuable. Trey Benson is a real asset. The offensive line is deeper, bigger, stronger. Yeah, man, I think we're going to run the football effectively. And I'm excited about that, by the way. That's good. Good. I love punishing brands of football. And you wear jokers down. I love watching that. But it doesn't lend itself to you building big leads unless you have a dominant defense. And I don't know that we're going to describe our defense as dominant. So I think it's good. I think it's got a chance to be good.
To play out in front with this defense would be interesting. If
Oh, yeah.
you become one-dimensional as the opponent in the second half, I like the fact that we could have one role for our front four because I think they can handle the role of getting after the passer quite well. It's balance that I'm afraid of. A balanced attack coming at us. I don't know what best personnel needs to be like for the front four. Again, specifically that group, the two ends. If you've got a balanced attack, if you put Leonard Warner on the field or Briggs on the field and take McClendon off, you're trading off a lot there.
Yeah.
They're specialists. But if you're up 2 scores to start the fourth quarter and you can allow McClendon and Verse to go after it, they're going to go after it.
Yeah.
And they're going to succeed. You can extend leads with guys like that.
That's funny. Several people chimed in with Russell Crowe could play Babe Ruth, but he'd have to lose some weight.
He would. I'll tell you, he played it up, though. He was in the recent Thor movie, which is hilarious. It's a funny movie and a fun movie. He plays Zeus, who is just the overweight,
over the top.
I'm the man. It's a great character.
He's been funny a lot lately. He's just welcomed the fact that he's uber rich. He achieved what he needed to achieve, and he's doing all right for himself. Even he looks better than Mack Brown. My God. Oh, Mack's in trouble.
That's the theme for today's show.
Well, I'm just telling you.
We'll have to change the title.
Mack Brown's in trouble, as I should say right there on the podcast. I'll show you the picture of him sitting down talking with the ACC Network guys. Whew. Sir. Now, back to us running the ball. I think we're going to run it effectively, and I'm excited about that. And then in terms of the defense, I think the defense is also better, not at certain things. Obviously, you don't get better when you lose Jermaine Johnson, but you are a lot better at linebacker because of one man. And
Zaloch has been solid every day.
Yeah, we said that yesterday. We said he's one of those. Yeah.
Man, he looks good.
But he looks good, and DJ Lundy looks good. I mean, DJ Lundy's had a good camp, too.
Yes. Yep.
So
I think Amari's had his moments, too. They got themselves a little rotation there. Tatum's leading the way, but they've got a little rotation going.
They're good there. They've got a ton of experience and confidence at the back end of the secondary that they didn't have to start the season last year. I think Duke Cooper's a good player. I don't know. I mean, sky's the limit for Azariah Thomas. Greedy Vance had a good couple of days here lately. We'll see what he is for this team.
Yep.
I mean, listen, starting the year with a competent defense is nice, right? Is that an understatement? Starting the season with a competent defense, it'd be the first time in a while.
Yeah, well, starting a game. I mean, starting a season, I hear you, because we didn't have it for the entirety of September last year, except for maybe a quarter and a half. But if you're an offense and things don't go well for your first couple of drives, you don't have to panic because you don't have to score 15 points. You don't have that feeling where we need to score 20 points on one drive. And that's what you could see, that an offense isn't looking at the things that are in front of them. It's like a batter who's leading off an inning trying to hit a 5-run home run. Can't happen.
Right.
You got to chip away. And if the offense isn't starting 2 scores down in the second quarter because it had a lackluster first quarter, that's a great place to be.
We were always doing the math in our head before the first drive of every game based on what we'd seen our opponent do the previous weeks. Like the more season that played out, the more you realized early on, like, okay, let's say 3 games in, and you were looking at our next opponent and our next opponent and our next opponent in your mind until they righted the ship in the second half of the Louisville game. And even then, you still thought, well, I don't know. I mean, was that a mirage? Let's see what they do next game. But point is, until you became certain that they finally had clearly defined roles that they understood and they were playing aggressively and smart and they were going to keep you in games, God, dog, I would drive over to the stadium thinking, well, probably going to drop 40 today because Lord knows we're not going to stop this aspect of this team's offense. It was very frustrating. I welcome, obviously, everybody does. Goes without saying typically, but it's just something to celebrate for us. We haven't had it. I like knowing that we can go into games and fully expect that it's going to be reasonable, that the race that I always talk about, what's the race to? I don't have to constantly say the race is to 40.
Yeah, agreed. I think the other thing too, and this isn't giving away much about camp, because they said it early on. Mike has gone on the record talking about how they've installed a lot early.
Because the very first day, yeah.
Because of the continuity of the roster from spring to here. You don't have to hold anybody's hand for a week to get them up to speed before you go into, throwing a lot at them. They already know the core plays that they can run. I think a lot of what we've seen is they're still tinkering with things that could work, might work.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if it works. They already know what does. There's a core few things with Jordan Travis as comprised that we know are going to work week to week. But how much more can we build around that? So what's interesting to me is when they get to the real game, and it's LSU, not Duquesne. They're going to be vanilla for Duquesne. How many of those type of basic things that we saw from last year that worked magically start appearing because it's in the core of what they do?
Yeah. And I think off of that, well, I'm supposed to talk about that,
but yeah, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, speaking generally in football terms, I think what they're trying to do was certainly what they did in spring. Again, we know Jordan can run. So how far can we push this thing in other directions? How many more pages of the playbook can we open with these new receivers? And how much variety can we throw at a team? Because the moment that they start cheating towards the variety, we throw Jordan at him with the base stuff that we do, and you're screwed.
If that is true, what the basic premise of what you're saying is accurate. That is true. But I do need I would like and feel more comfortable for another receiver to emerge.
And that's the number one thing for the scrimmage report is what names come up.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get to see it, but when they talk about the scrimmage tomorrow night, we get them around 10 o'clock tomorrow night. Whose name comes up? Because there's been a lot of dudes that have a day. They're like, oh, look at that. Kentron had a day. Ooh, Darian had a day.
Correct.
Ooh,
That's important too, by the way. I saw where I know in the observations today, the Portier had a great catch. I think he's had a pretty good camp now, but in my mind, he's like the group of kids you're talking about that you just mentioned. All of them have had a day or a moment, sometimes back to back. And you're like, oh, there is it happening? Now you still have time. I'm not washing my hands of this thing saying that nobody's emerged. I'm saying I still need somebody to emerge consistently to go along with what we hope Micah Pittman is, what we hope Johnny Wilson can provide. Certainly what Malik McClain should be, another year of experience.
Yeah, when the pads first came on, he stood out immediately.
Yeah. So is there another guy on this list? Because it would have been Winston Wright in the slot. It would have been him. We don't know when he's going to come back, so you can't trust that just now. Who knows if it's 6 games in, if it's 2 games in, if it happens at all, we don't know. So
yeah, the good thing is what we see, he's not hanging his head. He's going to work.
He's active and he's out there, but obviously when you're recovering from an injury, who knows what that timetable is. So, and everybody knows about that injury. I'm not revealing anything. There was in a car accident. Everybody got that. But I would, is there another guy that you go, okay, you know what? Out of that scrimmage, based on what I've also seen in the week prior, the week that we're having next, where we're watching and we say, well, they go over to Jacksonville, don't they, next week?
Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, so maybe
we get Monday through Wednesday.
Yeah, so maybe we see something emerge there on a Tuesday, and you're like, okay, he was reportedly good in the scrimmage. Now he's good out here today. Oh, by the way, he was good last week. Okay, is that the next guy? Because I think that does have to happen for those other branches of the offense to be seen consistently or to work, to provide something for defenses to worry about. I don't know it's there yet, but if somebody emerges, it will be.
I've got hope for Johnny to be.
I mentioned him
because he has already one major function that he can help, which is perimeter blocking. And look,
and he likes to block.
This offense, based upon what we saw last year, they like to run the ball. And how do they pass the ball? It's quick game. Well, how do you get better at quick game? You block. And who can block on this group? Johnny can. So if he's able to throw in the consistency that we're looking for, hauling in the ball, and he had a great day today. He had a really good. You could just chalk it down.
Okay, so I want to be careful here because it's important that I bring this up since I've been hard on him about catching the football. He had a good day the other day.
Mm-hmm.
So I was there yesterday, and he had a good day. So that's okay. We're stringing it together.
Right.
Could it be him?
And if you hear some good stuff about him from the scrimmage,
then you get excited.
Then you might on Monday you might say, "Ooh,
yeah,
what do we got here, Johnny?"
Yeah, that's exciting. If you're hearing this right now, and you or someone you know is active military, a veteran, police officer, firefighter, nurse, or a teacher, turn up the volume and listen to this. My friend Shannon with Legendary Home Loans has a hometown hero loan program designed to make a difference to those who make a difference. When it's time to buy a new home, he'll waive all lender fees for all hometown heroes. That's a $1,600 value right out the gate. If you decide to use their preferred title company for the closing, you'll be saving another $600, $2,200 in discounts right off the top. So that's good news for all of you out there. So again, save money here by going with my friend Shannon, Legendary Home Loans. If you're active military, veteran, police officer, firefighter, nurse, school teacher, looking to buy a new home, choose Shannon Young, Legendary Home Loans, and ask about their Hometown Heroes program. Call 844-FSU-LOAN. That's 844-FSU-LOAN, or visit FSUHomeLoans.com.
Your local news now.
On Thursday, Governor DeSantis suspended State Attorney Andrew Warren of the 13th Judicial Circuit. The reasons cited in the governor's executive order were neglect of duty and incompetence, with the governor accusing Warren in the release of picking and choosing which laws to enforce based on his personal agenda. The executive order cites Warren signing a joint statement with other elected prosecutors in support of gender transition treatments for children and bathroom usage based on gender identity. The executive order cites another joint statement from June 24th, which said in part that enforcing abortion bans runs counter to the obligations and interests we are sworn to uphold. And criminalizing and prosecuting individuals who seek or provide abortion care makes a mockery of justice. Prosecutors should not be a part of that. Warren's suspension is indefinite. Susan Lopez will serve in Warren's place. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Frobley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. A blend of clouds and sun this afternoon with a chance for scattered storms. High of 93, winds out of the southeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight, chance for scattered storms, lows level off around 75. Scattered thunderstorms likely tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 92, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 92.
Hi, this is Alex Stimley, candidate for Leon County School Board District 4. As a lifelong resident and a graduate of our school system, I look forward to the opportunity to serve our community. My goal is to bring 20 years of Leon County educator experience and my passion for student success to generate a renewed energy for the district and to provide a new voice for our classrooms. My name is Alex Stimley, and I have paid for and approved this message, and I'm asking for your vote for Leon County School Board District 4.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
We need to have history. We need to have literature. It deserves an explanation. We don't need to be promoting lifestyles that come into play for your average elementary school.
Well, I had an experience with this. When my daughter was in school, her teacher gave her a book to read, but then she asked me what the C word is.
That was in the book.
That was in the book.
Okay, so talking about the C word. So you're talking about conservatives, right?
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
And most importantly, effective. I'm talking about the coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. First class is always free. First month free with the purchase of a heart rate monitor. And it is science-backed, which is a good thing. It's not speculation, not nonsense. The interval training that you see football programs like Florida State and others use is utilized here as well. And you'll see the difference pretty quickly. Most importantly, pretty short period of time, you will realize how much more energy, more life, as they like to say, that you'll have on a daily basis because of your participation at Orange Theory Fitness and their daily workouts. 2 locations in town, Midtown, as well as Northside Orange Theory Fitness. So Clark is playing football Tom. And now, after all this time, I've tried to tell him he needed to do this, this, and this. He wants to do, I do push-ups in the morning. And he says to me, I'll do push-ups with you, Dad, every morning. I've begged him. I've tried to get him to do it for all this time. But now that he's playing football, he's like, oh, I got to get stronger.
So to footnote conversations we had many times on the FM dial, was there any hesitation?
Yeah. Yeah, there
was.
was.
Are you still in the middle? You're like, should I have done this? As you're letting him roll out there to practice?
I'm going to be very honest. A mutual friend of ours and former Seminole great, Keith Cottrell, is the head coach. And if he wasn't, I probably wouldn't have let Clark play. Keith is somebody I trust, somebody I know knows football, somebody that I've known for 20 years, and somebody that I thought would do a very good job of teaching the fundamentals. And one of the best ways to avoid really a lot of injuries in football is understanding technique. Now, it's a violent collision sport. There's nothing you can do to fully keep somebody from getting hurt. I mean, it's like, John Gruden's been wrong about a lot of things, but he wasn't wrong when he compared it to NASCAR. And he said, look, I mean, as long as everybody's aware of risks and understanding of what could happen, there is no perfect way to go about playing the game to avoid injury. You're gonna have them. And if you get into a car and drive 200 miles per hour and you hit a wall, you could get hurt. It could happen. So there are certain things that you can't avoid, but understanding how to tackle, understanding technique, understanding leverage, understanding those things and putting kids in the right positions is very important. So anyhow, long story short, if it hadn't been him, I don't think I would have said yes this early.
I had no idea he was coaching. That's cool.
He is. He's coaching. He'll be coaching later today. In fact, I'll be picking up Clark from practice later today. And today is their first full pad practice today. Woo! Oh, sorry. I did not have it. The question comes from Eric. Happy Libations Friday, Jeff and Tom. Do you guys see the video of Burrow driving a gator cart during drills the other day? Pretty hilarious. Go Noles, drinks on me.
Guys were running gassers and he's driving with them.
I did not see this.
Gassers. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's
He's
really
like,
funny.
I'm sweating it out with you guys as he's driving a cart.
That is hilarious. I do think as far as football goes, I understand the argument both ways. I really do. And Clark has begged me, Tom, in a way that Bryce never did. Like Clark has begged since he was teeny tiny.
Yeah.
Begged.
Since about the time he couldn't play soccer with Bryce, which is one of the greatest videos of all time.
Oh, I still have it.
Yeah.
I am big enough. Yeah, that clip. Like he's from South Carolina.
Oh man. Yep.
I am big enough. It's crazy. I'm like, where did that come from? Your mother and I don't talk like that at all. It went away. I loved it. It was so adorable. It was adorable. Yeah. His little redneck voice was adorable back when he was little. But yeah, it went away. I don't know why. But that video is, my wife has a hard time watching that video. She doesn't like it. It makes her sad because he's devastated.
He is. But I mean, it's because he wants to play. Got to remind him of that when he's on the phone. Look how much you wanted to play outside.
Yeah. So that's funny. I was at a middle school today, obviously, for orientation. And man, Tom, if you could just be a fly on the wall or stand in the hallways of these schools, it's just I mean, we've lost the battle. You hope to win the war. I don't think you can. There's just no chance. Kids on the phone, it's just never. That's it. That ship has sailed. I mean, every kid with their parent, wide-eyed, almost like they're starting school, excited to be there, want to know where this is. Oh, we got Spanish in third period. Where's Spanish? Oh, that's building 6. Okay. Now we got to go to building 7. You got civics. We got to get off your phone, Keith. And then you'd see, it was hilarious. Over and over and over again. That exact thing played out. That's what you'd see. Or you'd hear me, get off your damn phone, Clark. Give it to me. Give me yeah, that kind of thing. I saw your eyebrow raise.
Well, yesterday,
Yeah.
I'm on alert now. It's just amazing how small those hallways look, even high school. You know how big those worlds were when you walked into the hallway of middle or
It
high school.
seemed huge, and then if you ever go back and visit,
it's like going back to your apartment in college.
you're like, what in the hell?
This place was massive.
I lived in a slum.
Yes, Villa San Marco.
yes.
We had 4 bedrooms, 3 up top, 1 on the bottom, and it felt like this palace. And you go back and you go, oh my God.
This place always sucked.
Tissue paper walls. Like, my God.
I think when I go back, if you go to the campuses in town, you go to Florida State, you go to Florida A&M, TCC, when you walk those halls, it's the same thing. It's still, I mean, even because I thought when I was in school, first of all, the kids all look like they belong in middle school.
Yeah.
When you go over to FSU, now there are exceptions, but when you go over to FSU and you
grad students, man,
and you step on campus, you're like, oh man, little kids going to college. It's just little kids out here. It's crazy. You always feel creepy. You're like, I shouldn't be here.
Right, like you're spying on
Yeah,
them.
you're like, oh,
like,
sorry,
yeah.
this is your thing, kids.
Yeah.
I don't mean
Leave
to be
you
in the
in
way.
your world.
I don't mean to be in the way. I mean, you got to go through these little kid things that you're doing out here. But it feels that way. I don't know what age that started. 30? Hour number 2 forthcoming.
Early 30s.
Yeah, I think so. Hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with.
To have to wait.
Yeah, hey, it's the Millers again. Just calling you about our little plumbing problem.
2 hours?
Hey, we're hoping you can get here soon because the water is getting really bad. I mean, please hurry.
4 hours?
I know you said you were on your way, but, honey, tell the kids to tread water.
8 hours?
Don't worry about us. We're fine.
At M&L Plumbing, you'll never have to wait long for quality, dependable service right when you need it. At M&L Plumbing, we listen to our customers, and our qualified technicians aim to achieve 100% customer satisfaction. So the next time you need plumbing work or repairs, think of the name M&L Plumbing, your local plumbing experts, commercial or residential. Give us a call, 850-575-9393, or visit us online at mnlplumbing.com. M&L Plumbing, for all of your plumbing needs.
Physical stress on our bodies can take its toll as the years go by. Whether you're looking to get back into an old sport or just want to spend more time outdoors to explore all life has to offer in our beautiful city, the dedicated team at TOC is here for you every step of the way. You can trust TOC for all your orthopedic needs. And now, scheduling an appointment has never been easier. Just visit teamtoc.com and click schedule online. That's teamtoc.com.
A good farmer isn't afraid of shit. Like lifelong Florida farmer Wilton Simpson. He's been dealing with shit his whole life. That's why Wilton's ready to be Florida's next commissioner of agriculture. From cleaning up his family's chicken farm in Trilby to cleaning up the mess in Tallahassee as Senate president, Simpson's fought to cut taxes for Florida families and a parent's right to have a say in their kids' education. 100% pro-life, endorsed by the NRA for defending our Second Amendment rights against sanctuary cities because we have to crack down on illegal immigration. Is it any surprise that Wilton Simpson has the complete and total endorsement of his friend and ally, Governor Ron DeSantis? In the Republican primary, vote for Wilton Simpson for Agriculture Commissioner because Wilton's got a lot more to get done for Florida. Paid political advertisement paid for by RSLC Florida, i.e. PAC. P.O. Box 77 2516, Miami, Florida 33177. Independently of any candidate or committee.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Employers adding 528,000 jobs last month. Unemployment fell to 3.5%, the lowest level since the pandemic struck in early 2020. Well, a strong job market is a good thing. It also makes it more likely that the Federal Reserve will continue raising interest rates to cool the economy. The Mall of America in suburban Minneapolis reopening today. That's after a gunman opened fire there yesterday.
Police say two groups got into an altercation inside a Nike store. One group left, but somebody in that group fired 3 rounds into the store. Nobody was hit, but shoppers ran for their lives. Online video shows shoppers running, holding their children's hands and clutching their bags. Police officers could be seen moving through the mall. They're still looking for the shooter. A spokesman says the mall is adding more security. I'm Rita Foley.
Also at townhall.com, Israel says it's striking Gaza and declaring a special situation on the home front after days of tension following the arrest of a senior Palestinian militant in Israel's West Bank. Bob Agnew with that report.
A blast could be heard in Gaza City where smoke poured out of the 7th floor of a tall building. Israel had closed roads around Gaza earlier this week and sent reinforcements to the border as it braced for a revenge attack after the arrest of a senior member of the Islamic Jihad militant group in the West Bank. Bob Agnew reporting.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's the sound of the countdown and SpaceX rocket launch at Cape Canaveral, carrying Danuri. That's a lunar orbiting satellite carrying scientific instruments that will be South Korea's first moon mission. Stocks now turning lower. The Dow is down 5 points and the NASDAQ off 99. More at townhall.com.
If you were lied to when buying a timeshare and want out, you need my help. Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started the timeshare cancellation industry by exposing the ugly truth about timeshare and giving folks the straight facts. I've been fighting the timeshare giants ever since, so no one knows this industry better than me and my team. Today, we have 383 employees and have saved our clients an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Imagine putting those timeshare dollars back in your pocket. If you were told at a timeshare presentation that this was available today and today only, that timeshare was a great investment or your maintenance fees will never go up, call my office now. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242.
Wooden Glass has been taking care of families since 1945.
Experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best, like Wooden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Wooden Glass, and they provide precise installation.
Wooden Glass, Tallahassee's first family in glass. Online at woodenglass.com. Call 850-222-5781.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
this is the time of year where obviously I'm like every other football fan watching his NFL team practice and his college team practice saying, all right, guys, let's just get through this. Let's just get through this. Mike Evans leaves practice today for the Bucs with a tweaked hamstring because of course he did.
He probably landed on the ground hard.
Have you ever told folks the theory you have on Mike Evans, the athlete, and how interesting it is that a guy that big, that strong, consistently great, that fast, somehow never learned how to land properly?
I think the constant of gravity does not apply to him. It goes an extra 20% because the way he falls is the most violent.
Yeah.
He needs to go find professional wrestlers who know how to land
or
and hit the mat. Professional wrestlers are more his size. He's dealing with people who are of his size.
Yeah.
Like, here's how you hit a surface, dude. Now imagine, because it's painful in the wrestling ring, but now imagine you've got grass underneath you, Mike. You don't always have to be hurt.
I do this all the time with my kids when we're playing outside, like we're playing football against each other and having fun or something, and one of them falls violently. I'm like, find your inner athlete. Jesus, you look like a moron falling here. I mean, get a hand up. I mean, what are we doing?
The most scary, impressive thing I ever saw, and it's hilarious. When I was a little kid, my dad was fixing the net on our basketball hoop, and 2 wasps came out from behind the backboard.
No,
right in his face. They were coming after him.
That's the worst feeling in the world. That moment of recognition.
Well, he went off the ladder, and he fell off the ladder.
In the jackpot, those wasps are coming.
Yes, but then he kind of did a twirl, landed, and
got a shoulder down,
a somersault on the concrete, and he was up. It was the most athletic thing I had seen at that point in my life, and I should have known he was in the 101st, so he knew how to lapel out of a helicopter.
Yeah.
But I was like, "How did you do it?" He goes, "Many years of training, son.
Yeah,
years of training."
I would have just told you I'm an athlete. My kids get so pissed about that when I do it. I'm like, I'm an athlete. Don't worry about that. But I'm not gonna fall hard because I know how to fall.
Perhaps he should go talk to Mike Evans. I mean, he works in downtown Tampa.
Yeah,
he could
drive
pop
over there and show Mike, who is an elite athlete.
Also, Preston had a good comment. He said that Mike Evans has some MJ Walker in him. I agree.
He does. I think he does too. Yeah, but now the problem is two competing things can be true as well. And those aren't all fake injuries. He has some
he
MJ
plays through.
Yeah, he has MJ Walker in him where he lands, he comes out for a series. You're like, oh no, we're in trouble. And then, here he comes. Next thing you know, he's fine. So, yes, I roll my eyes, but he has had his entire career issues with the hamstring. So it's kind of like the hamstring's real. And I know from having a hamstring pull one time in my life, and it's still omnipresent. It angers me to no end.
Still think about it.
All the time because you feel it. It talks to you. When I'm playing, if I'm playing hard, if I'm running hard, if I decide to get after it, dude.
It's a push pace day at OTF.
I'm getting after it. I'm running hard. All outs, right? 45 seconds, a minute, something like that. Sometimes it'll be like, hey, man, I'm still here. It's like tightening it up just underneath the butt cheek. It's like, hey, buddy, I'm right here. Keep pushing and see what happens.
That's a great out of context video clip. Go ahead, grab that.
It's just like, I got you. You feel that there? Tighten it up. Go ahead. Keep running hard. Go ahead, big man. Yeah.
Where are you going?
Yeah. My hamstring's like, we're about to call this a day.
And that's where Dalvin Cook going 22 miles an hour would just pull up in midair and skid to the ground.
The Bitcoin and the butts are all over the chat today. What is going on? That is nuts. So I would just note that you do need to know how to fall, and your theory on him. It's not quite Bomani Jones' theory on Stevie Wonder, but it is a great one.
Well, this one's absolutely verifiably true. First of all, Bomani's is a theory. This is a fact. He always lands on his hip too. Mike Evans might not be with us long after his 50s.
Oh, come on, man.
No.
He may be wheelchair bound. You get mad at me talking about Mack Brown, 105 years old, 200 pounds overweight and bright red.
You're saying he's as good as dead. I'm saying that Mike might not be around if he doesn't learn how to fall because he'll break his hip. He'll break his hip at 50. He'll play in an old timers game, and he'll, somebody will trip his feet, and then there goes his hip.
I'm going to tell you, as far as breaking hips and dying. It used to be a sure thing you were dead if you broke your hip and you were past a certain age. That is no longer true. They've come a long way. Medical science has come a long way. I was one of the guys 15 years ago on the air. If I read about an older member of, say, the coaching profession or broadcast profession, or because you would read about it, you'd be like, oh, 78-year-old or 82-year-old so-and-so fell. You'd go, oh, that's it. That's the end of it. But not anymore, man. Not anymore. You're good. Hey, there's my man, Corey Clark. Let's bring him in.
Let's bring him in early?
Yeah, let's talk to him. He's
I'm going to awkwardly
in from Atlanta.
I'm just going to let you know because we switched some things around in the back end of our streaming software.
Yeah.
So I'm going to awkwardly just be sitting here. Usually we have a
logo
up.
Look at, there's two very good looking men right above you there. You know, that's
look at these.
crazy.
Look at the head.
Once again. Yeah. But yeah, you're just going to see me kind of lingering and reacting to the interview. So sorry about that.
That's fine. Look at that. Well, let's get him up. Right. We got him up? Right. Corey, you there?
We will in just a moment. Let me make sure.
Oh, we've got issues here.
That's all right. Everything's okay. We should be fine now.
Talk to me, Corey.
Corey Clark is talking. Can you hear Corey Clark talk? Nice.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. And for those that don't know Corey Clark, he is on a show called Wake Up Warchant.
Right. Mm-hmm. Wildly popular.
He's lost 28 pounds.
Close. 25, 26. Yeah, somewhere in there.
38, 40 pounds in the last month and a half or so. Does not drink water without Mio. Boom. There it is.
Got it right there. Got a full bottle.
And recently had his gallbladder taken out. Also writes for warchant.com.
That's another thing. And also got another little piece of maybe cancer removed from my nose. So
we don't know if it's cancer, though, right?
We don't. We have not heard back yet officially. So hopefully it is not. So there's your update. I hate long walks on the beach. Always have. I think beaches suck, honestly, unless you're at night. And I've been dating Stephanie for over 5 years. So there you go. There's my bio.
Over 5 years?
Yeah. Yep. Can you believe it?
I do and I don't. But, you're wrong about the beach. But I hope that's not cancer, man. I didn't know
the last one was cancer, but it was the cancer you can live with. They just cut out. So hopefully it's the same thing with this one.
Christy had that done on the side of her face today.
Getting old is the best.
Damn it, man. I've got an appointment 1 week from today. I'm nervous.
Hey, you should be. We're getting old. Who knows what they're going to find?
All right. What have you liked most so far? We've got a scrimmage tomorrow. We can't go to it. What is it you've liked best? What is it you've liked least? Corey Clark's opinion of camp before the first scrimmage tomorrow night.
Oh, it's a good question. I think just relative to what the position has been for so long around here, linebacker.
There you go.
I think linebacker. Offensive line, I still can't foresee them being a good unit. I foresee them being much better than they've been. But would you classify it as like one of the best in the ACC? I don't know. I think maybe if the linebackers stay healthy and Deloach takes the step that I think he's going to take, along with having somebody like Bethune in there who just makes these instinctual plays, especially in the running game I shouldn't even say in the running game because he's broken up some passes too. He understands the sport. He's a linebacker. And if you've watched enough football, you know what that means. He just makes plays. He's around the ball. If Deloach keeps progressing like he did last season, I don't know, Jeff, do you have one of the better starting linebacker duos in the conference at least?
I think you got a good one, Corey, and we couldn't say that for a very long time. I'll answer the first part of your rhetorical there, which is to tell you, no, this is not one of the best offensive lines in the ACC.
But better relative to what it's been. A lot better, I think.
Well, okay, relative to what it's been, I'm going to go with much better.
Yeah.
Good? No, I can't get you to good. But I can get you to much better than last year because I actually think they're going to continue to improve as camp goes along because some other kids are emerging. You know how high I am on Estes, and he continues to play well. And I don't know. I look at that, and I don't sit here and say, well, that means he's going to start. No, I mean that if he has to play, they're not going to fall off a cliff. And and I know, when guys went down to injury or missed a series or a half or a game, you were pretty well screwed if any of the starters had to go out last year. I don't think that's the case this year.
Yeah, and 2 years ago, you had, 3 freshmen starting? Like a majority, like Robert Scott was thrown in and started a lot of games. Darius Washington started a lot of games as freshmen. That probably won't happen this year, even though I think these freshmen are more talented than Robert Scott and Darius Washington were 2 years ago. They're more ready, I guess. And I bring that up because I don't know if you had a chance to watch Fabian Lovett's interview yesterday, but I would strongly encourage everyone watching this. After this is done, of course, don't stop watching JCS. I mean, were you crazy? But after that's over at 3:02, go click on the Fabian Lovett interview on the Warchant TV site and go to the end, because I asked him, like, who among the young linemen had stood out? And I threw Bryson Estes out there, knowing he had competed against him a lot. He avoided that one altogether and went straight to Julian Armella and said, that guy is different. He goes, that guy, he's fit in right away with his physicality. He loves him as a player. He loves him as his potential. And I've done this long enough to know that defensive linemen aren't always about giving roses to offensive linemen on their own team, especially the guys they compete against. But Fabian Lovett went out of his way to say this guy's going to be a real player. And he was really impressed with him. Like, it was unsolicited. I didn't ask him, hey, what do you think about Julian Armella? I just asked him about younger offensive linemen in general, and he went right to that guy and said that he thinks he's going to be a really good player, and he's really, really impressed with how he's fit in. And that says a lot coming from a guy that's been playing football now for, at this level, 4 or 5 years. So that was really encouraging, because I think we've seen it too, Jeff, a little bit. Armella's got a little, as the kids like to say, a little dog in him.
Yeah,
which
got a little dog in him. He's nasty.
I mean, he does not mind getting physical with Jared Verse off the edge. He is not afraid, and he does not back down. And that's something this offensive line is needed for eons. And he and maybe some of these other young guys will bring that.
Yeah, they have. And this is a thing. Offensive line, to answer somebody in the chat, takes time. Look, they are well coached, very well coached. But they're trying to bring in a better caliber of player to coach up, and not just try to make something work with what they have. They're trying to get better. The quality of the dough, as I like to say. You know, they're doing a better job of getting those kinds of players in here over the last 2 years. So now what you'll see, because Atkins is a good coach, and because he's very, very good at both motivation and also teaching, you're going to see this group be a strength of the team. I think going into next year and the year after, they'll be a strength of the team. I just don't think that they're quite there yet. But I do believe they're well ahead of where they were the last 2 years. There's no doubt about that. And as far as Armella goes, good point to bring that up, because Fabian Lovett is as good as there is on this defensive line, and is as good as there is on the defensive line in the ACC.
Yeah,
not just for he's a star. So his words mean something. He's also, would you say I think he's my favorite player to watch because of his zeal for the game. Like, that guy is fun. He's also gigantic and dominating. But he loves to play. He sets a good example. I know that's cheesy, but man, that guy loves to practice. There's not too many guys that big who work every rep that hard and then seem like they're just having fun, like they're a kid.
Yeah, and you hope that by osmosis, the guys behind him pick up on that, and he can, when he won't be here next year, but maybe these guys can keep practicing like Fabian Lovett practices. And going back to the offensive line and linebacker, really, you hear about somebody like Julian Armella, and it's like, okay, he's probably not going to play a lot this year, you wouldn't think. But what does that do just for the room? The competition, not just in the room, like, Robert Scott or people like that will be pushed. Like, there are guys coming. Bryson Estes will push somebody, and they can't just show up and play, poorly on a Saturday and think they're an automatic slated to start the next week. There's real competition now, which, again, iron sharpens iron, my man. It's just what it does. And I think they have that going at offensive line. I think they have that going at linebacker. I think really they have it going at virtually every position, which, again, was not the case a year ago, 2 years ago. Some of these players knew, even if they played horribly, if they played like ass, as Jeff Cameron likes to say, they were still going to play the next week. I don't know if there's anybody on this team now that if they play poorly 1 or 2 weeks in a row, they're not being pushed by someone of pretty decent caliber to take their job.
I said to Tom earlier that the number one thing I get excited about with this camp from the previous year, the year before, is something akin to what you're talking about right now, which is the fact that you can look at entire segment groups and say, that's an above average group, or at least above average in the ACC. That's a group that isn't going to get bullied. There's a group that can win you some games. Not all of them. You can't say about every group. There are some weaknesses. This team is not a national championship contender. I don't think they're a contender to win the ACC. But, man, we couldn't say that. I'm not sure we could say that about a single segment group, Corey. 2 years ago, I don't think we could have. I'm not.
Well, we did, because we said the defensive line 2 years ago.
Well,
and that was an abject horror show.
Well,
2 years ago.
right. And we ended up seeing a couple of reasons why. But the point would be, yeah, so we were wrong. But there wasn't, and you had to pick one area and say it was a strength, and that was the area we picked, and it was logical to do so. A couple of guys had devastatingly bad years. But I would suggest now that you could, with a straight face and not have to throw out any caveats, say that the defensive line is really good. The interior of the defensive line is really good.
The interior, I think, especially those two starters, the edge is still a question mark, a big one. They made plays. Briggs, I thought had his best practice on Thursday. He was all over the football, which is good to see because
he's only going to get stronger.
Yeah, and they think he's going to be special. They've said it multiple times that he's a special player. Burst is just his own unique person. I'm really interested to see how he does in actual games with more than 800 people in the stands. And then, the backups, I still worry about the backups really across the front. I think they're better. Jared Jackson can be a player, but on the edge, there's not, McClendon, I guess, or Briggs. One of them will be a backup, and then Peyton will be the other. You just got to develop some depth. But, yeah, man, I think the interior of the defense is good all across the board. If you just go up the middle, those two tackles are good football players. I think those two linebackers are good football players. And I think, again, you might have one of the best safety duos in the conference. I think up the middle, for the first time in a long time, I think you're really strong. And Jamie Robinson's one of the best defensive players in the conference. Maybe Tatum Bethune is too. Akeem Dent looks like a different guy than he did a year and a half ago. So you feel good about that. I think you asked me at the beginning what I maybe and still not feeling great about. And it's, I'm not putting on any one player or group. It's just the passing game. It's only 8 days, and they've had some moments, but the passing game still leaves you wanting for a variety of reasons. Sometimes the throws aren't on time, they're not accurate, and sometimes the balls are being batted down like the receivers or DBs. That's something I really want to see pick up in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, and I've concluded that it's not going to be the strength of the team. So they'll play to running the football, and they should because that's.
But you can't be awful at it. Last year, they were awful at it. I don't know what they averaged passing. I think it was like 180 yards a game or some nonsense, especially when Jordan played. You can't do that in 2022. You can't throw for less than 200 yards of offense and be a good offense. You can win some games. You can't be a good offense. They have to figure out a way to get some balance. You figure they're going to try to run for 200, especially if their quarterback's running for 60 or 70. But you've got to throw for 200 too. You've got to get some balance there and get some real and have a little bit of precision passing game where it's not always just big plays. And then if it's 3rd and 8, you might as well punt.
We're in agreement, brother. He's Corey Clark. Wake Up Warchant, lead writer for Warchant.com. Got your Mio?
I got my meat, man. I tell you what, man. Well, I love drinking water now, Jeff. I love it. And tell Tom, I know he can't talk right now, but it's cool that the Mets are using their closer for 2 innings in a game in August. What's the matter with you guys, you big babies? You scared?
Take that as a compliment.
I know. He's awesome, too. Go screw yourself.
All right, Corey. Have a good weekend, brother.
3:05, man.
There it is. What was the final last night?
6-4. Like a good set in tennis.
What time's first pitch tonight?
7:10. Taiwan Walker against one of their bums. So hopefully we can win that one.
Oh, it's one of their bums.
Yep. They don't have very many in that rotation. So whichever one their bum is.
These days, their bum might be Charlie Morton. He's a professional. He works hard. Mio sharpens Corey. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. If you're hearing this right now and you or someone you know is active military, a veteran, police officer, firefighter, nurse, or a teacher, turn up the volume and listen to this. My friend Shannon with Legendary Home Loans has a hometown hero loan program designed to make a difference to those who make a difference. When it's time to buy a new home, he will waive all lender fees for all hometown heroes. That's a $1,600 value right out of the gate. Also, if you decide to use their preferred title company for their closing, you'll be saving another $600. That's $2,200 in discounts right off the top. That's like 20 tanks of gas in your car. And today, more than ever, it's important to save as much money as you can, wherever you can. So if you or someone you know is active military, veteran, police officer, firefighter, nurse, or a school teacher, and looking to buy a new home, choose Shannon Young, Legendary Home Loans, and ask about their Hometown Heroes program. Call 844-FSU-LOAN or just visit FSUHomeLoans.com. That's FSUHomeLoans.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 2270146.
Barry knows cool. He's keeping you comfortable. This is Kyle, Service Manager from Barano Heating and Air. Schedule an appointment from your mobile device to learn about our Total Comfort Service Program. With guaranteed same-day service, 15% off necessary repairs, and $25 berry bucks to use towards air filters and other products. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license CAC 1816-186. This is Dr. James Ryan Finn at Finn Chiropractic. Wanted to let you guys know chiropractic doesn't just get rid of back pain, neck pain, and headaches. It can help with sleep. It can help with digestion. Maybe you have pain down your arm. But chiropractic is one of the safest, most natural, most effective ways to get to the root cause of your problem. So if you're a loved one or having a problem, even if you think we might not be able to help, make a new patient appointment today at FinnChiro.com. That's FENNCHIRO.com. Because your chiropractor loves you and there's nothing you can do about it.
The weather is unpredictable and can cause issues around your home. Weston Trawick provides commercial, residential, and industrial electrical wiring services, yearly inspections on fire alarms, portable generator sales, and so much more. With 24/7 emergency service and repair, Weston Trawick will be your calm in the storm. Give them a call at 514-0003. Weston Trawick. Professional electrical services day or night. Visit online at westontrawick.com.
This is a court-ordered notice. If you were subject to the data breaches of the United States Office of Personnel Management and you experienced an out-of-pocket loss after the breaches, you could be eligible for a payment from a class action settlement. To see if you're eligible, go to opmdatabreach.com or call 1-855-917-3567. That's opmdatabreach.com or call 1-855-917-3567.
Back to school shopping on a budget? Then Kohl's is the place to go. With the extra 20% off, I got my kids activewear for under $9 and jeans for $14.39. Plus, I found 2 for $20 character tees and got $10 off as a Kohl's Rewards member. More style and more savings? Check and check. Select styles, 20% offer ends August 14th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
That there are areas that have to get better. There are areas that you feel are the strength of the team. That's good. There have been times in the last few years where I've kind of walked out of there and I thought, how do I present this on the air? Because I didn't like anything that I saw. That's not true now. There are a lot of things that I like now. It's the effort I talk about all the time, and I want to get it right. It's a hard thing to do. The effort to try to express and provide context for our listeners and readers and viewers on YouTube about how much better the team is, how the floor has been raised, while balancing that with letting you know that just because they're a lot better in a lot of areas doesn't mean that they're a complete finished product or that they don't have weaknesses. Trying to find that balance is pretty difficult. So offensive line is a good example. I see the argument in the chat. Armella's really good for a freshman. Shouldn't start. Is not ready to start. Has gotten absolutely bowled over by bigger players several times in practice. I mean, pancaked.
Which is something that you would expect from a freshman because you're going against men.
Freshman.
And he's had good reps where he's gone against high-profile ends.
Correct.
And more than handled his own.
Takes time. He's a big, strong kid with a great frame who has, when you step up to this level of football, especially at that position, more than any other. Now, I would not maybe argue about starting a true freshman at corner. In fact, I may begin to lobby to do just that because Ezra Thomas seems ready to me.
You've already kind of done that.
Right. Yeah. That is a different position. That is, can you sink your hips, turn, flip, and go? Can you do those things? Do you have instincts? He has the speed, the length, and technique-wise, he's really come in and I think profiled very nicely. Offensive line, you play freshmen when you don't have other options. Like say you're devoid of talent and a kid comes in and he's got good feet and good bend. He's not as big as you'd like him. He's not as strong as you'd like him, but he is infinitely more talented than any other option on your roster. Then you might feel compelled to play a kid like that. We've had to do that because what they inherited on the offensive line was a nightmare. And offensive line, you have to throw numbers at the problem because big-bodied kids get hurt a lot. And this group has had a lot of injuries in the past. You think of somebody like Schrader. There's a guy that they were high on. Well, he's had to recover now from a pretty devastating injury. Now, he looks better. He's gotten bigger, but he's not as strong as he needs to be because when you miss a year and all you can do is rehab, you're not progressing. You're just getting back to where you were before the injury. So that's the problem. We've had guys have back issues. We've had other guys have ankle issues. I'm not saying who, but everybody knows this, right? So if you're rehabbing, then you're not moving forward. You're just getting back to what you were before the injury. What they've had to do is get those guys bigger and stronger, teach them, but also get a better caliber of player to say yes. And they've done that. I mean, listen, there's a couple guys on this roster as freshmen on the offensive line that look very different than their counterparts did when they got here. Very different. Meaning their timetable to play might indeed be accelerated, but you don't want to thrust them out there as true freshmen because you're going against grown-ass men. If you think about NC State's defensive line, or you think about LSU's defensive line, you can look at a number of other veteran clubs, Clemson and others. These are guys that have been in the system for 3 and 4, sometimes 5 years, that have been, obviously you go from being a kid to a man, put on that man weight, get some of that strength, but you've also been in the program, meaning you've been now lifting the way that elite college athletes lift as opposed to high school. Eating properly with advanced nutritionists and all nutrition from those nutritionists and all the things you don't really have in high school. All of that happens to where now, the difference. A 23-year-old man grabbing an 18-year-old kid, and they're both big, strong guys, but one's been lifting for 4 and 5 years in the system and eating properly and learning along the way, and the other's just big and strong, who dominated because he was big and strong in high school and might have some real upside, but that's no competition. And we've been forced to play those guys time and again, and those guys have gotten hurt because of it. And when you get those guys hurt, I've said this, I'm a broken record. When you get those guys hurt, they're not just physically injured. Obviously, that is a big part of the problem because you have to rehab and get back. But you're mentally broken too. It's tough. It's tough to recover from that. That's a violent position. The line of scrimmage is a violent place to make a living. And, so I just, it's very different than when we talk about skill players. It's true to say that true freshmen start at receiver, true freshmen start at defensive back. You can have true freshmen start at running back. You can find those guys in bunches at places where they recruit at a high level, but you don't really see it too often.
Well, at places
on the offensive defensive line
where you recruit at a high level, I mean, also that's the creme de la creme across the sport. How many prospects come out of high school every year? And sure, there are going to be 3 on Alabama that are true freshmen that play, but that's 3 of how many that are coming out of all the high school ranks in total. And it doesn't matter what position you're playing. If it is corner or receiver or offensive line, it's about your technique because you're not automatically the biggest, fastest, or strongest player and/or on the field anymore. So now it comes down to details. It's about your technique. Even a quarterback, a true freshman at quarterback. Look, A.J. Duffy was praised by Mike Norvell this week, saying that he's as far along as anybody that young as anybody he's ever coached because they're throwing a ton at him. But the process sometimes very much looks like a freshman. He does stuff that you will never see him do when he's a junior or a redshirt sophomore because things move too fast. He's considering too much. So it's not slow enough for the talent and the instinct to take over because he's thinking his way through the reps.
Yeah, and he's not preternaturally great. He's not somebody that you look at and go, well, that's transcendently good.
Right.
He's just a good young college quarterback.
Even if
he's got to learn.
Even if he was, he'd do the same things. He'd make ridiculous mistakes. Deshaun Watson, when he first got into games, and we were saying, why are you playing whatever his name was that started the game against us in 2014?
Started against Oklahoma and kicked their ass in the Sugar Bowl, shockingly.
Which was crazy.
Yeah.
But because Deshaun would make the big mistake and he'd say, oh, my God. But it was still a net positive to play him. And that Dabo couldn't see that was incredible.
Yeah, you would have wanted to play him. Yes.
But as transcendent as that guy was, he'd make a play and you go, in what world would you ever make that mistake?
Decision, yeah.
So it happens across the board. Like Armella in certain reps will just wow you. You go, oh, my God, you can't teach that.
Well, I think one of the reasons
But then the next rep, you'll say, oh, Jesus, that should never happen to anybody.
Well, you just say you got taught a lesson. I mean, there was a play early on in camp. And again, this is not mocking anybody. I mean, he's a freshman.
It's freshman. This is what is supposed to happen.
But he got absolutely brutalized. And one of the coaches who cracks me up said, "Welcome to college football." I mean, picked him up, helped him up. I said, "Welcome to college football." It was funny. It's a different game, man. That's a grown ass man that just whooped your ass. It's going to happen,
right? And it's one thing to happen in practice against a veteran teammate, and another to happen in Doak, in front of 70,000 people, and then it's on social media when you're talking about the confidence factor.
Yeah. Well, they've been stuck here. They've been stuck here for some time, and digging your way out of that hole involves getting better players to say yes here. They've done that on the offensive line. Kids react to Atkins more positively on our staff than any other coach. I mean, he is our best recruiter, it would seem, and I continue to prop him up in that way for very good reason, and we should all celebrate that. But it doesn't mean that you can skip the stages. It doesn't mean that you can skip the process. Just because a guy's a good coach, just because a guy recruits well, doesn't mean you can suddenly just wave a magic wand and those guys that come in are there to start for you. It doesn't work that way. It's Jeff Cameron, Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
The Leon County Sheriff's Office announced Thursday night that it is investigating a death in the 6600 block of Mahan Drive. The Leon County Sheriff's Office was informed by the Florida Highway Patrol of a discovered body. A person notified FHP about the body. The human remains were of an unidentified individual, and the remains were transferred to the medical examiner's office for an autopsy to determine the cause of death. It is unknown how long the body had been at the location. The Sheriff's Office says anyone with information on the incident to contact the Leon County Sheriff's Office at 850-606-3300 or provide an anonymous tip by calling the Big Bang Crime Stoppers at 850-574-8477. Tyrone Cleveland was indicted by a grand jury Thursday on 6 charges, including the death of Tallahassee Police Department officer Christopher Ferriello. The indictment states that Cleveland did unlawfully kill a human being, Tallahassee Police Officer Christopher Ferriello, by ramming Ferriello's patrol car with a motor vehicle. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. A blend of clouds and sun this afternoon with a chance for scattered storms. High of 93, winds out of the southeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight, chance for scattered storms, lows level off around 75. Scattered thunderstorms likely tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 92, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 93.
Every great construction project, whether it's a new addition or renovation, starts with a plan. At T-Spark, we are excited when our clients contact us to assist with that plan. Through our team of architects, draftsmen, engineers, we can help you with your project's planning and design, potentially saving costs in the long run. Whether you have a residential or commercial project, we look forward to working with you. Call us today or visit us at tsparkconstruction.com. License number CGC 1525336.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place. Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
There's a TikTok that's going viral because of a butter softening method. They are putting the Vermont Creamery butter in the waistband of her pants. Give it 5 minutes. You can go and measure out your ingredients, and then your butter is ready to go. You cannot do this in Florida.
No.
Because your pants will be full of butter in 2 minutes. Somebody try it. Post on TikTok. Tag.
Unless it says juicy across the back.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Me this the other day, and I failed to respond. And I like to share things with people that I'm either reading or listening to or watching. And a few of you have asked this at varying points. And I listened to something that was 24 minutes long the other day, and I got to give credit where credit's due. Right after Bill Russell died. Go ahead.
I was going to say, was it Mack Brown's opening statement for fall camp?
I wasn't. No, this was not a chance to serve up another shot at Mack Brown. In Bill Simmons' podcast, he had it's from the book of Basketball 2.0, and it was way back when he originally wrote it. But I've never listened to that book. I don't care about basketball enough to do that. But I love basketball, but not in that way. That book is insanely long to talk about players from 1952. Anyhow, the point would be, he did this piece on Bill Russell, and it was called The Genius of Bill Russell from the book of basketball. And it's 24 minutes long, and it's freaking awesome. It is worth your time. 24 minutes. It is spot on. Best thing he's done that I've ever read that he's done. It was that good.
That's interesting because I think he's overrated, but he's done a lot of good stuff.
Well, and that piece specific to Bill Russell, right after he died, he went back and revisited it and said, this is from a 2 days I spent with him in Seattle, and where he lived in Seattle, and everything that they talked about, from championships to coaching to the game overall to his time in ball, everything. But it's not that. That's not what he's replaying. He's playing the chapter he wrote in the book, and it is unreal. The 24 minutes. It's touching. It's really well done. And it also lends some great insight into the man. So anyhow, I don't even, technically I'm not in love with that podcast. I just wanted to read what he had to say. No, I'm not. I don't think it's great. I did want to hear what he had to say.
It's overrated.
I did want to hear what he had to say about Bill Russell. Because he is an expert on Boston sports. So I was like, okay, I'll give you that.
Remember the spat he and Wilbon had? Like, Wilbon wouldn't work on the desk of the NBA halftime stuff because he's not a writer. Like, what? What are you talking about? That's a very weird culture. Somebody write a book about that, please.
They did. The ESPN culture?
Oh, well, this is its own world. Like the desk for that, because remember there was an issue last year with Rachel Nichols and the things that went on behind the scenes with her and Maria Taylor. And
I miss Maria Taylor. I'll tell you that. She was on last night, but she was fantastic.
There was, NBC's going to feature her now.
They have to. I mean, they need to find more ways to work. Yeah.
But that desk specifically is just like a mosquito magnet for ridiculous storylines and drama.
For ego.
Like Magic was supposed to be on the desk. He didn't show up for a couple of games. I mean, you could go on.
Oh, that's funny. By the way, I almost got through the whole show.
Oh, I'll blame it on Magic Johnson.
Here's the good news. Did you see how quick my brain told me? I mean, I barely got the sentence out before I said no. So it's getting closer and closer. That is there. It's listening.
Give it to Matt Millar. No.
Damn it. Had it. I will tell you, since it's a loosey-goosey edition of the show, I may have, this is saying something. I've hit some big shots, Tom. I may have hit the best shot in basketball I've ever hit last night.
Who's guarding you?
Price.
Sorry. I just had to set that up.
Yeah.
You've played in games.
I know. No, I don't mean it. I don't mean it as in the importance of the moment.
Okay.
I don't mean it as in, can you believe I got that shot off of the 6'7" guy in a 58 all tie with a minute to play? No. We were playing horse. and it was just a freak shot that you try to pull off one in a million times, and it went in, and I wanted to leave. It was a spinny behind the backboard as I was. I can't even describe it. It was so good. I wish you could have seen it. You'd be better as a human had you seen this shot. You would be like, I'm so glad I saw that underneath the basket on the other side. Regulation hoop, left hand, back to the basket, behind my head with some spin.
There you go.
Up high.
Now the audience knows, the audio only audience knows you're reenacting it.
Yeah.
Because you're away from the microphone.
Yeah. All the way, that like straight up with the perfect arc, wrong kind of spin because it's the left hand.
Right.
To keep it on plane.
Above the cylinder.
Nothing but net. It was insane. I'm mad that I'll never be able to do it again, or that nobody saw it but me and Bryce. That's it. I'm mad. I'll think about that shot on my deathbed.
That's my Capital City hard true shot. So on number 3, I bladed. This is about a year and a half ago. Bladed the shot on 3 in the par 3 down the hill. Tennis courts are in the distance. I thought it was gone out of bounds in the courts, but it wasn't. It was in the cement little walkway.
I knew you loved this shot because you told me about it right after. You called me to tell me about it.
I had to. That's a phone call worthy shot.
It is. I don't blame you. It's a great shot.
So you would think, right, because you're in the walkway to the tennis courts and it hit a fence link.
Yeah, you're like, I'm screwed. Yeah.
Well, you can open the gate. So I open the gate so I don't have to take relief. And the ball is on hard true. I'm playing 2 sports at once right now.
Yeah.
And it's dead. The pin's on the back, so I'm short-sighted.
Clean. Got to get some spin on it.
Almost hit a splash shot on the hard true. To a couple of feet, I make par. That, sir, is a filthy shot that I won't be able to do again.
No, but the only downside to that shot is that you weren't playing for money.
But it wasn't competition. It was playing the ball down.
Okay.
It was an event.
Yeah. Because if it had been for money.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
But it was an event.
You get a special kind of. No, I get it. There's value to it. It's not. Yeah, no. It's not you and me on a Thursday night just having a good time out there. No, I got it. But I'm saying, had it been for money, you get the added satisfaction of seeing the anguish on your opponent's face for having been beaten by a shot like that.
Oh, I buried a 40-footer in my uncle's faces for money. We were down 1 with 2 to play, and that sent into the 18th hole tied. Buried a 40-footer right in their faces.
But I'm going to tell you something. The shot you hit off of hard true is much more representative of excellence than a 40-foot putt. The 40-foot putt was luck.
It was dead center the whole way.
It's luck. The hard true shot, that's skill, man. That's skill.
It felt pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
It just made my Friday a lot better.
We'll do probables in a minute. Let's go and come back and do that. You made me smile. That's good. Hey, Nole fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Hi, I'm Alex Stimley, candidate for Leon County School Board, District 4. As a lifelong resident, I've attended our schools, I've worked in our schools, and my kids go to our schools. For me, this election is not about power, it's not about title, and it's not about politics. This is about our kids and the positive impact our schools can have on our community. Our schools are vulnerable, our parents are voiceless, and our educators are defenseless. Your kids, grandkids, your neighbor's kid, and my 2 kids. That's my why. I'm Alex Stimley, and I have paid for and approved this message. And I hope to have your vote for Leon County School Board, District 4.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love. And you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. your friends for life.
This is Andy Cohen. When I was a law enforcement officer, I devoted my life to a career of service and protection. Who's protecting you? Give me a call. 850-671-FARM. That's 671-FARM. Helping you is what we do best.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
If you're a business owner of any kind, you need advanced fire protection services. We are AFPS, and we provide high-quality life safety services throughout Northwest Florida, and we've been doing it since 1989, with offices now in Tallahassee. Fire sprinklers, fire alarms, fire extinguishers, hood suppression systems, and emergency exit lights. For all of your life safety equipment, we've got you covered 24/7. We are Advanced Fire Protection Services. For a free life safety system evaluation, visit WeSaveLives.com. That's WeSaveLives.com.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Yes, it is true. It has happened again. The T206 Honus Wagner card has long been viewed by collectors as the Mona Lisa of sports cards. Seems that on a regular basis, the T206 Wagner card is sold for a record amount. Well, that's what happened in August of last year when one sold at auction for $6.6 million, setting the record for the most expensive sports card of all time. Oh, Tommy, but that was last year. On Thursday, less than 2 weeks from the one-year anniversary of the 2021 sale, another newly found T206 sold for far more, breaking the previous record. The new mark is $7.25 million, according to Golden Auctions, who announced it following a private sale. Wagner was a Hall of Fame shortstop for the beloved Pittsburgh Pirates, of course. His greatness as a player is not the primary reason for the T206 value, which was issued in 1909 by the American Tobacco Company. There are thought to only be 50, some say 60 copies of the card in existence, making it one of the rarest sports cards in the world. I've been in the business for a very long time and seen a lot of incredible trading cards and pieces of memorabilia, said Golden founder and executive chairman Ken Golden in a statement, but there's nothing on earth like the T206, at which point everybody yelled, "Geek!" There's a reason why no Wagner card is ever sold for less than it was previously purchased for. The card is sheer art. Listen to these people talk about this card. Unbelievable. It's folklore, I tell you. The T206 is one of the reasons I do what I do and why serious collectors around the world love this hobby so much, for there may be another one out there we've yet to find. To be a part of history, facilitate this record-breaking sale is truly an honor, said Golden.
He thinks that his legacy is going to live forever because he peddled a T206. That's kind of sad.
He probably unzipped. As they say, records are made to be broken, and it may not be long before this one is eclipsed. According to ESPN, an ultra-rare 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle card is currently up for auction by Heritage Auctions, is expected to fetch a whopping $10 million. Now, that is rare for a Mantle, I will tell you that, just because Mantle was everywhere. There's a gazillion rookie cards signed and everything else, so I don't know what the deal is with this 52 card, but surely it will not surpass the famed T206, Tom.
Here's a signed bottle of Jim Beam. It's a Mickey Mantle.
Cue it up. Let's do these probables, shall we?
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching probables?
But once again, some bastard found a T206 Honus Wagner in an attic. Uncle Jerry left it sitting up there. Next thing you know, thanks, dead Jerry, I've got me the ticket.
Now I can live like you never did.
$7 million, you dumbass. You should have checked your attic. Marlins, Cubs, 0-0 in the first. Edward Cabrera and Justin Steele. Buccos, Orioles. It's a battle between Cameron and Chaffel tonight. 7:05. You got a wager.
Yeah, you did. I should have wagered something with Corey.
You should have.
Yeah.
The great Mitch Keller going for the Buccos. Dean Creamer going for the Orioles.
Not just screwing Mitch Keller.
That's right. Going to get dominated. That's what's going to happen to you, Baltimore, at Camden Yards. Those fans are going to be forlorn. Nationals, Phillies, Josiah Gray, straight out of the Bible. Old Josiah makes the start tonight. Kyle Gibson going for the Phillies. Stros, Guardians, Fromber Valdez. Hunter Gaddis. Rays, Tigers, Corey Kluber, Brian Garcia, Braves, Mets, Ian Anderson.
There he is.
9-6 with a 4.99. Tawan Walker, the much better pitcher this year for the Mets. Wow, he's having a year for you.
He is. But, it's baseball. It could flip on its head. You never know.
11-0. You don't know.
Could happen.
White Sox, Rangers, Dylan Cease, Glenn Otto. Hey, I'm Glenn Otto. Welcome to Glenn Otto. Red Sox, Royals, Josh Winkowski and Zach Greinke. Blue Jays, Twins, Jose Barrios, Tyler Mahal. Reds, Brewers, Robert Duggar and Eric Lauer. Yankees, Cardinals. Oh, can't think of a worse matchup. I hate both those organizations. Nestor Cortez and Dakota Hudson.
Nestor?
Just root for injuries to all the fans. Rockies, D-backs, Herman Marquez and Madison Bumgarner. Padres, Dodgers, Sean Manaea. I made myself laugh. Tony Gonsolin. And finally, Angels, Mariners, Patrick Sandoval, and Robbie Ray.
Hey!
Let's look at those. The shower's out of the bump. What kind of food you going to eat tonight, Tommy? It's a Friday, buddy. We got a big game on deck at 7 o'clock.
Usually Friday is I go pick up Italian.
Yeah, I know. That's your thing. You guys haven't wavered from that, have you?
No. And we love the restaurant. And
I'm not attacking. I'm just saying sometimes you switch it up a little bit or something.
Well, every other night of the week is up for grabs, depending upon what's going on. But Friday is usually fixed. It's something we look forward to. And the wife is now on the antipasta salad.
She also feeling better?
Yeah, going up and down the stairs now. It's good.
There we go.
Heart rate, though, is still
get her
alarmingly.
out there going on a jog. Let's go.
She is, according to her heart, just by going down the stairs. Yeah.
I want to also, before we sign off on a Friday, it's always fun to kind of put a ribbon on things. I can't thank Ju Young Kim enough for the day that he had today at the Wyndham. Took him with my third pick. Shot a 64, tied for the lead. There you go, Ju Young.
All right.
I'm loving you, baby. I needed that.
I think I'm going to out the wife here. I think she's on the chat because Jumbo Rabs is definitely part of her order. So
there you go.
All right. Got to come up with a new burner account, babe.
That's funny. Well, that is generic. There it is. Good food. Also, I would note really quickly, what has happened to Justin Rose? Good God. My man out here throwing around 78s and 80s.
He's done everything but joint live, though.
Well, that's because he's not an ass. The vast majority of the people that have joined live, I mean this, like, objectively speaking, you would agree with this. Like, not for the political reasons. Like, you and I just talking. Like, the people that have joined live, you're like, of course you did.
Mm-hmm.
You are the world's biggest a-hole. You should go join live. It makes a lot of sense. Good work out of you. Good work, Director Matthew. Be well, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday. Peace.